In the great debate between that vegan teacher and Sniperwolf, I'm actually inclined to be on Sniperwolf's side. And it's not because she's attractive, it's not because she's famous, it's not because she's hot. It has a lot more to do with the fact that I'm attractive, that I'm famous, and I'm hot. And no, I'm not saying that us hot, attractive, famous people have to stick together, but hear me out here.
Look, all those times that Sniperwolf was making those videos saying how she was unsympathetic towards animals, and how she even admitted herself that she's not a caring person, that she doesn't have empathy, maybe that should have been an alarm bell for many of Sniperwolf's fans. You know? They say that when you are cruel to animals or you don't care about animals, that then the next phase is that you are also cruel and unkind to humans. Often they talk about that with small children. If you see certain children hurting animals, that this is a really dangerous sign that this could move on to hurting humans, physically, I mean. Now, I'm not saying that she's like that. How would you like it if somebody you loved or you yourself, SS Sniperwolf, were tied down like this, put in a stall, you can't even turn around, and somebody is sexually assaulting you, mutilating you by shoving these things on you and stealing your milk? Is this really something that you want to condone? Or does something here feel just wrong, just really wrong? And if it doesn't feel wrong, then maybe you are a tiny minority of the people on this planet who are psychopaths.
I lack empathy. I lack empathy. I lack empathy. I'm not vegan, therefore I am evil.
Sniperwolf is in the position of having huge numbers of vegans inform her that she's a psychopath. And in so doing, the vegans are trying to drag deeply subjective, cultural, political debate into the realm of the medical sciences. They're trying to treat it as a simple scientific fact that some people are born with a mental disability that makes them incapable of feeling empathy and thus less likely to become vegan. Tell me, is that how we abolished slavery? Back at a time when like 90% of people supported slavery, did we advance the argument that, you'd have to be a psychopath. You'd have to be born with this mysterious mental illness that there's absolutely no falsifiable scientific evidence for whatsoever. And it's not rare. No. More than 90% of people have this illness. Is that how we made progress toward the abolition of slavery? How about gay rights? The progress toward gay equality, gay rights, gay marriage, this kind of thing. Really, the single greatest accomplishment in politics in my lifetime, the single greatest change or transformation of society. Did we accomplish that by claiming everyone who was homophobic had some kind of innate mental disability, learning disability akin to being a psychopath? This myth we've made up that a certain stereotype of behavior makes you a psychopath. This myth we made up that if you disagree with me, there's something wrong with you. You were born this way and you're going to die this way. Any physically real mental condition is going to show up in an autopsy if you die in an avalanche. As a rule of thumb, if you have malaria, all right, and you die in an avalanche, we can perform an autopsy and we can prove that at the time of your death while skiing in the mountains in Switzerland, you were hit by the sun, you had malaria, okay? Now, diabetes. We can prove that you had diabetes. You know what? Some very subtle behavioral disorders, they are physically real, and I've known people who had them. You might meet someone who has a stutter. You might meet someone who has strange blanks in their speech where they stop talking, and you might think it's an emotional problem. You might think it's an educational problem. They had a bad time in school. You might think it's a purely subjective problem having to do with their feelings or their attitudes, or that they could overcome through better training. And you know what? If they die in an avalanche, you can actually bisect the brain, you can perform an autopsy, and you can show the malformation in the brain, you can show the hole in the brain, that they actually did have a medically real problem, something physically wrong with their brain, and that's why they stuttered, that's why they struggled to speak, or even that's why they struggled to read a book. I've known quite a few different people who have those kinds of conditions in my life, and again, it's easy to misinterpret what's wrong with them. Oh, are they nervous because I'm famous? They're nervous because they're meeting me. Are they nervous for this reason? Were they beaten by their parents as a child? They have a bad mother, they have a bad teacher, they have a bad childhood. And I've had those people say to me, look, you have to understand, I can show you an x-ray of my brain. I can show you an MRI scan of my brain, and there's a hole in it. They have a physically real, medically real condition. And that is exactly what these merely cultural notions, these stereotypes we have about psychopaths and sociopaths and Satanists and witches and witchcrafts and other boogeymen, that is exactly what the myth of the psychopath can never be. It can never mean that for you, for me, for any of us, or for the future of this political movement called veganism. So I'm not just making the claim that it's strategically counterproductive to call Sssniperwolf a psychopath. There's a tongue twister. I know what it's like to be hot and famous on the internet. And it's a very particular kind of person who feels motivated to send me messages on Instagram and have that glimmer of hope that they're going to be that one special person I cheat on my girlfriend with. And it probably takes a special kind of person to write into Sssniperwolf also and get in touch with them. This is the thing. This is why I relate to Sssniperwolf. This is why I'm on her side above all else. These women, when they write into me, if I click over to see their Instagram profile, to see their Facebook profile, what's the first fucking thing I'm looking at? It's them holding up a dog. And yeah, sometimes it's a little puppy. And sometimes it's a huge dog. It's them kissing this dog. It's them virtue signaling what a loving, warm, wonderful person they are. What an ethical person they are. Because they take care of animals. And they'll tell you in the text the whole fucking story of this dog, how they rescued it, how they got it from a shelter, and how they're so proud to spend all their time and money grooming this dog, picking up the poo after this dog, feeding it special kibbles for its special needs. Their whole fucking life revolves around taking care of this dog. And if it's not a dog, it's a cat. And if it's not a cat, it's 10 gerbils or 24 bunny rabbits. All right? And the same way that vegan teacher feels about Sssniperwolf, where they look at her and they think she's mentally disabled. They think she's a psychopath. They think she's totally immoral. That's the way I feel when I look at my fellow vegans, even the ones who are literally trying to fuck me, the ones who are writing to me, flattering me, trying to seduce me. When I look at them and I see them holding up a dog, holding up a cat, and they just can't even mentate what's wrong with this situation. They can't look in the mirror and find any fault in themselves. So if we're going to start calling 90% of people psychopaths, or 90% of people narcissists, or whatever the currently fashionable, scientifically non-falsifiable bogeyman is for our era on planet, if we're going to start doing that, all the people who eat meat, all the people who are vegan but are raising pets, all the people who are vegan but who make excuses for smoking marijuana, all the people who are vegan but make excuses for taking benzodiazepines, all the people who are vegan but make excuses for taking antidepressants and taking antidepressants during pregnancy, all the people who are vegan and are gambling addicts at the casino. We live in a world where the vast majority of people are making totally irrational, totally immoral decisions every day, their whole lives long. And it's not because they're psychopaths. It's because they're stupid, they're ignorant, they're self-centered, they're lazy, they're bad, and they're wrong. And there is no more thankless task in the world than coming on YouTube every day and telling people you're bad and evil and wrong. And 99% of people are going to respond to that news negatively. And there's going to be that 1%. There's going to be that tiny minority who respond to it positively because they realize, hey, I'm not born this way. I don't have to die this way. It's not a mental disability. I can change starting today.
It's the traditional Christmas dinner, but have you ever given much thought to where your turkey comes from? Farmer Matt Carter is giving his customers a very clear insight, offering them the chance to not only hand-pick, but feed, look after and name their turkey all before it's slaughtered for Christmas.
As you can imagine, this initiative hasn't gone down well with vegans who have accused him of being a murderer and a psychopath.
Oh, we've had a lot of people take us up on the offer, and then we also had a lot of people who were violently against us, and they didn't want us to do it. They wanted us to take the post down. And then we had a graffiti across the front of the doors of the farm shop. People should know where their meat comes from, and if you're going to buy meat, then why not know that it's come from an ethical farm that's well looked after, and the turkeys have been free range and had a good life.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go for it.
Of course.
What do you mean by ethical exactly?
Well, being well looked after, they're free range. They're slaughtered humanely, and looked after the best way possible.
What is a humane slaughter? Exactly.
Well, in the most stress-free possible.
What does that entail?
Well, it entails killing the turkey. But there's no other way of getting your Christmas dinner without killing the turkey.
Just out of interest, how do you kill the turkey? Just genuinely curious.
You slit the turkey's throat.
Okay. I do think
so is there any
possible.
point that you agree with here?
At first, obviously, I was a bit like, this is kind of psychotic because, you know, this is the kind of way that you would treat a pet.
Well, you did actually say anyone who names their turkey, anyone who goes onto that farm and does that is psychotic.
Yeah.
I guess one of the biggest aspects of sociopaths is that they don't have empathy, right? And that was really emphasized, how they could do anything and get away with it. They manipulate, they deceive. Sociopathy or antisocial disorder is not something, is not curable. It can be treated, but it's not curable. It's very, very difficult because of the level of manipulation that a lot of sociopaths exhibit as a part of their characteristics because of how their brain is functioning. Like an antisocial personality disorder, because they don't feel empathy, you know, they don't feel these things, so what's the point? You know, that could be a line of thought. They're not human. I don't have antisocial personality disorder, so I can't say I know what's in their minds, but it's kind of like, it's also sad for me. They can't really enjoy the simple things in life, the little things in life that bring me joy, like my cats. Like, what kind of societal advantage am I gonna get from adopting cats? Not much. They cost a lot of money because, you know, they're living things. They won't help me make more money. They are not gonna get me better jobs or whatever could get me power, but they just make me happy. They bring me joy.
If my point is that what you're doing is immoral, the last thing I want to do is say, you are mentally handicapped, and that's why you're doing this immoral thing. Now, it makes even less sense when you're claiming 95 to 98% of humanity is mentally handicapped. And we've all been through this before with narcissism. People start defining narcissism so broadly that 95% of people are narcissists. People start defining depression so broadly that 95% of humanity is depressed. And we have these kind of pseudo-medical psychological notions, and they soon envelop the whole wide world. The absurdity is, you look at these people, their definition of sanity. This woman I have a clip from. Her proof that she is sane and compassionate and loving and that she's not a psychopath and she's not a sociopath is that she owns cats. She keeps cats as pets. And that's her proof that she's a good person and that she's sane, unlike these psychopaths she's pointing the finger at. This is a professional therapist. She doesn't just see nothing wrong with taking an obligate carnivore and cutting off its balls, declawing it, removing its reproductive organs, male or female, training it not to live as a solitary predator in the forest, but to live as a plaything on her couch and on her carpet, and then killing cows, buying the cows cut up and crammed into a little metal can, and spooning that out for this obligate carnivore to eat. The whole relationship between human being and cat, and her description of the love she feels and the gratification she gets, she's presenting this with no sense of humor, no joke, none, zero irony. She's presenting this as proof positive of her sanity. And from my perspective, it's like, lady, you are indicting yourself as something, well, let's not say it's insane. Let's just say it's immoral. And then the other contrast you guys just saw is someone advancing the idea that they're a morally good and pure and caring person because they take the time to pet and coddle and care for and give a name to a turkey, to treat a turkey like a pet before they slit the turkey's throat, kill it, and eat it. And from one side, this is proof positive that, quote unquote, you're a psychopath. And from the other side, it's proof positive that they're caring and compassionate, that they're a better person than someone who did none of those things.
And they also use, once the animals are rehabilitated, it could take some time, but once the animals are rehabilitated, they use that animal interaction with children, at-risk youth and special needs kids to help them heal as well.
Their doggy door again. I'm only keeping it open during the day. I haven't opened it in a long time. I just want to watch them whenever they go out and take them out myself every day, multiple times a day instead of What the fuck are you doing? She's peeing in Kaz's bed. Why did you pee in Kaz's bed?
À-bas-le-ciel. À-bas-le-ciel.